Stupid little squirrel. Welcome back to this, well boys, it's the usual. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? Then we got a factory RPM gauge over here. Well boys, this video ended pretty much as I expected. So there we go, got done wet sanding this one panel. There's a lot of panels that I still want to go over and like wet sand, especially on the driver's side, but actually the whole passenger side is just like I want it right now. I think the only thing I want to try to do in the future is probably try to like wet sand it finer, like go like 2000 grit, 3000, maybe even 4000 grit, and maybe even like lightly cut / buff it or whatever. See my right fender, front fender here. It has like a really nice, like it's really smooth, like really damn smooth, you know. Water don't stick to it. Anywho, so it has like a little bit more like of a sheen, like kind of like the paint is new, if you will. Where the rest of the car from like the door and back is like really chalky, very like matte or whatever. But other than that, all the like red primer spots and stuff are gone, and we only have like the proper patina on the car left. So tomorrow we're gonna try to head out on a longer test drive with this thing, get a proper test drive in on it, and get a little bit more miles on it or whatever. It's almost like ready and drivable, but there's still a lot of things once the car gets running that I want to get done actually before I go and register the car. I'm most likely first gonna register this car spring next year because I still have so many small things I want to do. I want to do shocks in the rear. I want to get some proper springs that aren't completely shot, you know. I want to fix my turn signal cam inside the column. That's completely ruined, so I can't even blink right or left, or the hazard lights doesn't work. I want to get a dash pad in. I want to get some sound deadening and proper interior in the car, because it's borderline pretty damn race car, rattly, and just loud inside right now. Even though the exhaust actually isn't that loud, the Firebird is louder, honestly, both on the inside and outside. But I want to make this more like solid street car, whatever. Then we also have stuff like the leaky headers now. I want to figure out probably getting another intake so I can run a normal carburetor without the weird big spacer, because right now I can't even fit an air cleaner underneath the hood. We still got to do something probably about the brakes up front. The Wilwood stuff works great, and it has a nice firm pedal and stuff like that, but it seems like these front disc brakes are absolutely like glazed over, or the rust have like pitted into the brake pads or something now. So we're almost only like stopping on the rear brakes, I feel like. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of like small upgrade things, videos coming along, I guess, like interior work, small detail work and stuff in the car. I know detail work, right? Like it's some kind of restoration, but tomorrow we're gonna go out and test drive this thing on some temporary plates and trying to see how the thing do. Maybe there's even something even worse we have to fix, you know. I have no idea. Maybe the rear end gonna howl like crazy on the highway, or left front wheel is just gonna rattle off at 100, you know. You never know. So see you guys tomorrow. Then we're gonna pack up for a road trip and fill the trunk with all the tools that I own, and see how this thing is gonna do. Knowing my luck, my guess is we're probably gonna break down a lot of like small annoying breakdowns, and ending up cutting the road trip short and just going straight back here to the barn. That's just how it goes with new projects, and that's how it's been with all my projects. And that's the difference between buying a project car in cart boxes and stuff and buying a running and driving car. Is the running and driving car, you can like slowly upgrade or fix the problems that are already there, where this thing, there could literally be problems everywhere, because I never driven in it. I have no idea. Literally everything could literally be wrong with it. I have no idea, you know. So exciting times. Enough rambling, let's get to the test drive. Hey guys, and welcome back to this. Today's video is the first proper maiden voyage of the old Roadrunner. So we're packing up over here, you know. We got a spare tire, and I got a jacket. I'm ready, as you can see. We're gonna top it off with fuel, because the fuel gauge, I'm pretty sure, doesn't work. Well, the gauge itself does work, because it activates when I put ignition on, and you can see the needle is like ready to read or whatever. But the float probably doesn't float. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? We got a floor mat in here from an old van. luxury. I know, pretty legit. Most likely gonna hit the shifter right there. You don't have to worry about it. We're gonna keep that baby in 4th gear. Then we got a factory RPM gauge over here, as you would see in a proper U-code Hemi car, big speed pistol grip out the roof thing. Because we got that insane adapter thing going on over here with the carburetor and stuff, there's not room for an air cleaner. So what I did was just take top flow K&A infill or whatever, and pretty much this thing fits perfectly. So when you shut the hood, this thing just like smush it up against the hood and it's sealed off. So pretty much we got like cowl hood air intake thing going on here. So all the Hurst torques, you feel me? Still can't get the thing to idle under 1400 RPM. Well, I can get it to idle under 1400 RPM, but under 1400 RPM it starts to like die on its own, which I believe is some kind of vacuum leak going on. And so other than that, I think we're ready. I'm just gonna pack up literally everything, all tools, all spare parts that I have, everything. Because if you pack it, you don't need it, and the other way around. If you don't pack it, you're gonna need it. That's what I learned anyways. Bunch of zip ties, because that can save an old V-belt, as you know from the old Thunderbird video. Bunch of liquids, because your boy gotta stay hydrated. Well boys, it's the usual. We out here cruising, the thing rips. Suddenly, 7 cylinders. It runs like a Ford, you feel me? Oh! This piece of shit, literally the worst spark plug wire fell off on a big block mopar would hit us. If you know, you know. So now we're gonna do shake hands with danger. We're gonna get an old bumper jack out here and I'm probably gonna die, but I'm gonna give it a shot because I have to go underneath somehow, get an arm up there, hot exhaust and all that, and put that thing back on. Because it runs terrible, fun enough, on 7 cylinders, så let's give it a try. Hvad er det? Jeg skal ikke helt op. Bare lige. Filmer Ola. It's on, bud. I was feeling very strong.
12 seconds later.
Well boys, another debacle.
A few inches later. O'clock midnight.
I'm gonna pull a muscle in my spine. Well, could you imagine it? I couldn't. Second test drive went, I would almost say worse than the first one, right? Can't get the car to properly work with the carburetor. The whole intake is off. Can't see anything like cracks or machine weird or anything. I'm gonna take the manifold and check it on the engine with no gasket. See how, I guess like the heads are milled to the intake or the intake is milled to the head. There are some machine marks on this, so maybe it has been milled before. I don't know. But a few people are suggesting valley pan gasket from Velcro, paper gasket, and then some sealer, and then it should work. If, of course, the milling or whatever angle is correct. So that's one thing we're gonna try to do, and if that doesn't fix the whole vacuum idle search thing, then I am honestly clueless. I have no idea. Yeah. Okay, next thing. While taking the intake off, I suddenly noticed the brake fluid in the Master American Powertrain hydraulica stuff was a little low, and it was also black. Here's the great news. The master cylinder is done. I just took it apart and the piston inside is absolutely shot. I don't know what happened. I installed this thing correctly and everything. So some way, somehow, the piston inside got bound up or something and just started chewing itself into pieces, the whole aluminum stuff. So that's shot. So I'm gonna keep all the American Powertrain bracket stuff, and hopefully I can just from Willwood or American Powertrain buy only the master cylinder and not the whole hydraulic kit again, because that's almost like $600 or something. So we don't want to do that. Hopefully we can get by with something for maybe $100. I don't know. Also this thing, I don't know if you should buy it. It works fine in the Corvette, but on a race engine, don't buy it, I guess. I don't know. That's so far that's my idea of this Summit carburetor. So it's a little debacle. We gotta order parts to even make this car work again, and that's probably gonna be definitely a week or two out, at least in this master cylinder deal. So for the next 2 weeks I can't use the car. Not that it's licensed on plates or anything, but it's gonna be useless. That's great. Anyway, see you later. Homeboy trying to break in and steal my big block over here. Stupid little squirrel. Oh, smack box for 7. Do it again. This video ended pretty much as I expected. We got an intake manifold situation going on over here. That's great. Hopefully I can figure out and test this thing in the next video and see if we're actually sealing properly. I'm gonna order some gaskets and stuff for it, because a lot of people recommended using a paper gasket on the manifold side and then the steel valve pan on the underside, the filler rubber gasket. We're gonna get a Willwood Master ordered up. My only theory I just came up with why this should be broken and already ate the piston inside is I used the Master cylinder a lot before putting brake fluid in it, because I had to like mesh out the rod clearance and how it went through the firewall and stuff like that, like build the whole linkage and stuff. So I depressed it a lot of times and stuff. So I have no idea if maybe that's what caused it, that there was no fluid in the Master. I don't know. The thing is, the piston shouldn't really be riding on the bar. It should only be the O-rings on the piston riding in the bar, but I don't know, maybe because it was all dry, the rubber got switched around and then the metal started touching metal, and then once metal has touched metal, then there's all these like debris in there that's kind of working like sandpaper, and that makes things worse. And I don't know, we're gonna try to put a new one in, and I'm gonna be very cautious and look at everything, at like how the linkage runs up and down and the angle and stuff like that. So I guess we just gotta redo that. So that sucks, because hopefully the throwout bearing down in the transmission is good. That thing comes pre-filled from the kit, so there's already fluid in that once you get it in the kit, or so they say at least. So hopefully that hasn't taken any damage. I'm gonna double check again when we lift the car up and see if that thing is leaking or anything. I'm gonna flush the whole system again, because of course now we got the silvery brake fluid running through everything. So wow, that's great. And then we have the leaky headers. I'm gonna order up some, I think they're called REM exhaust gaskets. They are 0.127 inches thick or whatever. Like they are some thick boys, you know what I mean? So hopefully that can equal out our bent flanges and stuff like that. And then I also bought some Permatex Right Stuff 700 Fahrenheit black silicone for the header bolts. That's what most people on all like mopar forums and stuff said was the best when you're using header bolts. I know, best scenario using header studs, but if I have to get these headers on and off, studs are not an option. Not in my situation anyway. Maybe with nice TTI headers or something. Alternator also, I'm gonna have to look into the new wiring harness, strip down the whole electrical tape on that thing and see where the loose connection is, because something is going on where it either like fully charges, pegged out the gauge, or it like blips back and forth, like it gets a signal, then not a signal, not a signal. So the gauge is just doing this when it's charging, right? Or otherwise it's just fully charging, which is not really good, because that means it's probably just pumping out like 15 volts through the whole system or whatever. So I guess we got the charging system tested and all the fuses and stuff, because this thing was just like pumping voltage and amperages out there, so that works. Transmission works freaking awesome, so nothing wrong there. Anyhow, also I have checked all the nitrous ports down here. These are some nice thick Allen bolts, and there's silicone around the bolt heads. So I don't think that's where the big vacuum leak is. If there is a vacuum leak, then it's very tiny bit, and I don't think that would be the reason to like having an idle at like 1400 RPM or whatever. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. See you in the next video, I guess.